Brilliant, can't wait to see it. Helen and Anne join us now. So, Helen, do you really think that monogamy only exists in the movies?
Well, I think it's a nice ideal to aspire to, and we all sort of want it to work, but it doesn't, because you've just got to look at the evidence. You know, you look throughout history and in every single culture, there's always been evidence of affairs, right? From, you know, you look at Chinese courtesans, Japanese geishas, royal mistresses in Europe. It's been there throughout history. And monogamy was, it's been a construct. But monogamy and marriage itself, this idea of a lifelong relationship where it's full-time and you live together, was always, throughout history, something that we had to do because it was the only way of continuing inheritance. It was the only way of you know, transferring wealth across families. And today the modern world's very different to that, and I think we're much more independent, and there isn't this need to stay together. So it's not so much it's not so much a question of whether sexual monogamy can work. It's the idea that can we really be together with one person, merge our lives, and do everything together, live together 24/7. I don't think
the idea of that, though, is lovely.
It is.
But, no, she doesn't.
She doesn't. For some people, personally, I wouldn't like that. And I think, you know, we have this idea that that is what everyone has to do, and that's what everyone should do, and that is the ultimate recipe for contentment. But I don't think that suits everyone. And I've interviewed a lot of couples, a lot of individuals about this, and that is not the, you know, what everyone wants. But I think a lot of people sleepwalk into this sort of idea of a long-term relationship when perhaps they don't really.
What's the longest relationship you've ever had?
3 years. I did do 3 years once.
I did do.
Yeah. I've never been that happy in a full-time relationship. And it's not that I can't do monogamy. When I'm really into someone, I'm really into them. And it's so it's not a sexual thing. I don't think that's very satisfying.
Is it more just the everyday?
It's just the everyday, seeing someone like 5 times a week. I think there's this massive change between.
So you're a bit of a heartbreaker, Helen. Sounds to me.
Yes.
Maybe they break my heart too.
Anne, what's your take on
Well,
on
I
this?
agree with a lot of what Helen's saying. I certainly think we should celebrate being single, and there are certainly people for whom it's better to be single, and sounds like you're one of them, and I think that's terrific. I think, you know, we should never feel being single is second best. Absolutely
not. Of course not.
And I also agree with you that there's been massive failure at this wonderful ideal. But the fact that we fail at something doesn't mean it isn't still achievable and a wonderful ideal. I mean, there's a lot of people not have good health. That doesn't mean we don't celebrate good health and want it. And the proof of it, to my mind, is that still it is the majority of people who embark on a monogamous marriage in this country succeed in it. So it really does work. And also the majority, it's by far been the most popular and accepted ideal throughout history and throughout culture. Yes, people have failed at it, and yes, you're absolutely right that in the past just the tiny upper classes would have to embark on sort of you know, for financial reasons, but not the majority of people.
But more have
the majority of people
more
have
succeeded than they have failed.
And always more have succeeded. OK, in America today, I think it's slightly the balance is more fail than succeed. But that's one country, right? And that's the developed West where marriage is under amazing sort of, fantastic's the wrong word, but attack.
Yeah.
Still, in the UK, most of us succeeded
What do you think the secret is to it, though? You've been married for a long time.
I think one big secret is the committing to it. You know, we have this Hollywood misconception that on your wedding day you say I do. You don't say I do, you say I will.
Yeah.
That's a very important distinction. I am going to do this. I will do it, even when times get tough. Now, OK, sometimes it goes wrong and no judgment attached when it does. But the idea, it's believing that you can do something and it's deciding to do it. And we've sort of overlaid it with all this kind of romantic, oh, well, if you don't feel like it, you've already failed. That's rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't... I'm
you
a
have
writer,
to work,
sometimes
you
I don't
have to
feel
work at a marriage.
You have to work at it, like you have to work at anything worthwhile. And we've put all this romantic, you know, sort of Mills and Boon idea that you hear people saying it didn't work out, as if they had no power to make it work out, as if it was like a thing from the sky that just sabotaged their marriage. And, you know, it's not we. If we're going to make our marriage work, the only two people who are going to do it are the two people who say, I will.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. Helen, finally, what do you think?
I think it's very interesting that we're talking about this as you use the word success. Is it successful? Does it work? And we're presuming that that is what everyone wants and that almost the alternative is not very favourable, and that is the only way that we can be happy. And I think the point is, it's not whether, oh gosh, we've got to work in a relationship because we've got to be in a relationship. It's what makes us happy. Some people want to be in a relationship and they love that constant companionship. But I think the problem is, in society, we have this view that that is what's right for everyone. And it might be right for the majority, but it's
not
certainly not right for everyone.
Yeah,
and
I
we've not
agree
got to
with you.
think about it. If we have to really work at a relationship and really make sacrifices, then perhaps actually it's not that great.
I don't agree with that, because I think if something is worth doing, whether it's marriage or whether it's you know, writing a symphony or whether it's winning a triathlon or whatever it is, if it's worth doing and it's difficult, it's going to be hard work. And I think a happy marriage is hard.
I have to say, ladies, it's definitely got everyone talking at home. People have been tweeting us, #monogamy matters. Hannah says, if you're willing to put in the hard work and stay committed, then monogamy isn't a problem. Falling in love is easy. The hard part is staying in love.
Yeah, that's very...
And Anne says the problem these days... Anne says the problem these days that everyone has an excuse to be footloose and fancy-free. Go back 30 years plus. Couples are more invested in the person. People shouldn't just be replaced when times get tough. If you can't put the legwork in, then don't be with the person.
It's just going on to that, is this staying in love. I hear so many times, I'm really sick of it, that you can't stay in love. You have this falling in love and it doesn't last. It really, really does and can. Let me just give you an example. My parents, my mother sadly died just before my parents' platinum wedding anniversary, which is 70 years.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And the day my mother died, of course, my father and I didn't know she was dying, but she was not well and she hadn't been able to speak for a couple of days. And I took her a cup of tea with my dad, and she took this cup of tea, and my father said, "Your hands are so beautiful." Now, they were in their 90s and in love.
That's
It is
nice.
possible.
I think it is a different type of love, and I know this because I've read a lot and researched a lot about the evolutionary theories. When we're in that early phase of romantic love, you know, when you're just absolute nuts about someone, you get butterflies in your stomach, you lose your keys, all that. Our brains are flooded with dopamine, right? And that is where you are totally into someone. Later on, we don't stay in this phase for long. Later on, we become attached to someone, and our bodies are then flooded with
guys,
oxytocin.
I'm going to have to
definitely
stop
got
you.
talking.
We're going to fall off the bed. The credits are going to start rolling.
We'll carry on this chat, okay? Just stay there, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Still to come, I'm sure we're going to get lots of comments about that.
Sure.
Kylie Minogue, Amal Clooney and Ellie Goulding are all fans. Find out how you can look stylish in suede. Emmerdale's Nothing Anderson shows us how to get it right straight after this break.
OK, ladies, let's carry on. Right, so...